You're with NewsMakers. Our guest is Mayor Bob Parker. Now, I know you referred to the Henderson property saga. It certainly has been a controversial episode in your first term.
Sure was, yeah.
I've heard many people remark that they actually like the ensuing master plan, but they still are troubled by the way the council executed those purchases. Fair cop?
Well, I think we moved quickly, Mike, and I think that people aren't always used to councils moving quickly. We had an opportunity. We had all of the rationale had been worked over for year after year after year, but like a number of issues that I've inherited in this term, there are some issues that have been sitting out there for so long that people have been talking about them for years and years and years, and nothing has happened. And I remember actually a column of yours just a couple of weeks, ironically, before we did the purchase of those inner city properties, in which you were saying, come on, council, be a bit more entrepreneurial about this, you know. And I read that at the time, and I thought, I wonder if you'll feel that we've been entrepreneurial when we make the move that we're potentially about to make.
Do you have to be furtive to be entrepreneurial?
Well, I don't see it. Once again, we weren't furtive. Well, the problem for council is that we exist in a unique space. On the one hand, we're that big, transparent, publicly owned and operated organisation, and people have absolute right to go into the nth degree of how we do things and what we do. But when you interface with the commercial sector, it's very, very difficult. The press came to us when we were looking at a site for a council building, and they said, we want you to consider our building, but you're not allowed to talk to anybody about it yet because, you know, we haven't sort of told the staff and we haven't put it on the market.
Yeah.
And so, you know, there was an organisation that later criticised me, but saying to us, you know, when it's commercial property and it's ours, we don't want you to be open and transparent. The other issue is this.
But the management and the editorial do not see, you know, they don't cross the same path here, Bob.
Hey, I'm just making a point, you know, that the real world is sometimes different to the ideal world.
Sure.
And we have to operate, in this case, in the real world. If we identify property that we're interested in before we purchase it, you know, you can guarantee they go, here come the ratepayers, they're suckers, let's jack the price up a bit. And so we do have to operate in that awkward space sometimes. And when we get into that situation, it's entirely okay by me that we get referred to the Office of the Auditor General.
Sure.
We were. He said, guys, you did exactly what you should have done in the right way. I have no problem.
That was just an opinion, though, right? To quote Tony Marriott.
It's a bloody good opinion, isn't it? I mean, if you go to the audit office, you're not going there because you want to know what flavour lolly you should buy next week. You're going there because you've got a very real issue around the way a public body is operated. And I was very happy when that came up, and I encouraged that. I thought, great, we need that. I'm confident we did it the right way. But we moved quickly.
Sure. We'll sprint through a few things.
Sure.
A popular perception of the previous mayor was that he was consumed by the process. A popular perception of you is that you are consumed by getting results. Is that valid?
Pretty much so. I can't, I'm not commenting on the previous mayor, but certainly in my situation, yes, I believe I'm here for results. I'm paid, you know, a good salary by the people of this city. I'm not paid to sit there and ponder the meaning of life. You know, I was voted in on some clear goals that I'd set. I only know that I have one term. You know, I'd like to think I could be there for longer, but the community may decide otherwise. I'm not going to sit there and fill a space, Mike. I think we should do things properly and we should use the appropriate processes. But we do need to act. It's not enough just to talk about acting. And that's me, I'm afraid. I just believe you've got to get in and do stuff. We've got a lot of pressures and a short amount of time to put the city in a place that it needs to be to confront the challenges of the future.
As you are aware, we asked viewers to describe your mayoralty to date in one word.
Deeply concerned about this. Yeah.
We had hundreds and hundreds of choice descriptives, Bob.
Blimey.
Some of the key themes that bubble to the top. Businesslike, superficial, arrogant, well-groomed, but the top of the lot was action man, or active, or a doer. We lumped all those together. You like that?
Well, I must say I am pleased with that because, as I said, I didn't come here to muck around. And I'm really happy with the fact that people will make a decision in a year's time and go, no, he wasn't the guy for us. But I couldn't have come in here and been somebody that I wasn't and had an honest relationship with my community, you know. So I do believe in us getting things done. You know, we haven't got time to muck around. We need to act.
You mentioned one-term mayors. I think the last time we had such an individual was 35 years ago. I take it you don't want to change that particular track. How many terms does a mayor need to make a truly lasting difference?
3 terms. I have no doubt about that. Yeah, I haven't really got a plan. I do intend to stand at this moment. I do intend to stand next time round because we've just started the process. But I think you need, that's why I reckon, 4-year terms would actually be much smarter, and probably a couple of years then would be, or a couple of terms then would be about right for people. But you definitely don't turn these sorts of ships around in a short time. It's not a canoe. This is a big battleship. It's a super tanker, and you make changes. It takes a while for those changes to come through. We've made changes that I want to be around when we can deliver on them in the years ahead.
I've got 1 minute left.
Okay.
What's your biggest weakness?
Oh, man, that's a really tough piece of self-analysis. Probably I read the media too much, take a little bit too much notice, get a little bit hurt too easily out of...
You're sensitive?
Out of those things. Yeah, sensitive, but I'm used to being whacked in a public way. So, it does... The worst thing is when it impacts on your family. I remember one weekend all my sons were in town and there was some really negative stuff in a newspaper, and I actually felt embarrassed. I'm just their dad, I'm just a bloke in Christchurch trying to do something.
Okay.
So probably a little bit too inclined to be knocked about a bit by some of the hard things that are said, but equally I don't let it stop what I'm doing.
Well, it's great to have you aboard. It'll be election time before we know it, but we hope to have you back before
fast.
then. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Mayor Bob Parker, thank you for your company. We'll see you soon. Good night.